Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. I'm with Kathy Young, who's Shaw's Vice President of Marketing Services. Kathy, how you doing?
I'm great, Kemp. It's good to be with you.
Good to be with you. You're VP at Shaw. You're female, and I want to point out that you're empathetic to your target audience, right?
Yes, and always have been. I always spoke on behalf of the consumer.
And you're almost a lifer at Shaw. I believe you came to Shaw through Sutton. So how many years, when you combine all that, have you been in this business?
Well, 28 years with Shaw, but I've been in the industry for longer than that. We won't go there.
Okay. I wanted to talk to you because you got a new heightened effort in your consumer message to women in the residential market. And I want to delve deep into that. It's called your Awesome campaign. And I believe the last time Shaw had a consumer message that was used in traditional media, and by that I mean cable TV, print, tie-in with digital and in-store point of sale, was I Want a Floor, and that was in 2006, right?
That's right. It was a very aspirational memory campaign of wanting to recreate places that were very special that consumers had visited, whether it be a vacation or just a quiet place with beautiful surroundings.
You know, at Floor Focus, we get data from Kantar Media, and they track consumer spending in different categories, and they have a category that's flooring manufacturers, and we've been watching this be on the decline through this recession, which nobody can fault. So it's nice to see that you're spending more money and putting a larger effort toward reaching the consumer through traditional media.
Definitely. We see the consumer is ready. They're still doing a lot of research, doing a lot of investigation, getting to know the companies that they're doing business with, and buying better floors. It's a wonderful time to introduce this new campaign, and this campaign is very relative. And I call it a campaign at the consumer level, but for us at Shaw, it's actually a brand platform that we are using to guide everything that we're doing, from our internal associate messaging to our content, the way our images are being shot. And it has a long life to it. It's actually called Awesome Happens on Shaw Floors, but there's an addendum to it that allows us to speak to Awesome Happens in Shaw Floors, at Shaw Floors, and with Shaw Floors.
All right, so it's a message that works throughout the organization. And let me pivot on that just a minute. But prior to doing this interview, I looked at some of the commercials, the video that's going to be running on cable TV. And it doesn't focus on the fashion and attributes of the flooring as much as it does on the emotion of what happens in life on these floors. I mean, one of the messages is a mother teaching her 15-year-old son how to dance on a carpeted floor. And that's a day that both of those individuals remember for the rest of their lives, right?
Oh, yes, definitely so. There are 7 stories in this campaign, and I have always believed that buying a floor is a very emotional purchase. It's going in the home that you're living in and your life is unfolding on, and that's exactly how we position this platform. It celebrates every small first step and every long last dance, and it spans demographics within that. Start with young families, aspiring families to start businesses in their home, young teenage girls, preteen boys who are just being children but are aspiring for their future and maybe not even knowing it, empty nesters, and even senior traditionalists, 2 very active dancing senior traditionalists. A lot of fun and just celebrating those wonderful moments.
Well, one of your messages actually hit a little emotion with me. The building a fort on the floor, that's something I did with my kids. So I think you hit the gambit with your messages. You know, when you hear the name of the campaign, the Awesome, you would think maybe at first blush that this is a millennial campaign because they're the ones that say awesome every day. So talk a little bit about that if you would.
Yeah, the millennials and even the younger ones, my grandchildren are running around hollering awesome every moment. But we spent a lot of time talking about that with our agency, and we got our hearts and heads around it and said, this is not a cheeky, comical campaign in any way. It's a hopeful, cheery campaign, and in it, we, I guess, subconsciously redefine awesome or take it back to its original content of very rich, deep, awesome moments. And we speak to that as we introduce the platform.
All right, so it works across the board.
Yeah, across all demographics. Our millennials are home buyers today. We do know that, and we are wanting to be where they are. and content and stories and images are certainly taking their buying position into consideration in the platform.
You know, this message would only work if Shaw had a monolithic identity, which it does. And it's a move you made, I think, 15 years or so ago to be Shaw Floors. Everything is Shaw Floors. So I applaud the increase in spending. Let's talk about that for a minute. Tell us a little bit about, I know you've got many things to spend money on. I think in the last several years you've spent money on what you do digitally, and we actually featured you in an article recently about how Shaw is on top of that digital marketing campaign. So you're shifting money around toward traditional media, consumer advertising this year, right?
Yes, we are. And I am so proud that even in the downturn of the economy, we never stopped advertising. We may have pulled back a little bit, but we never stopped. And being a young advertiser, it's important to be out there. We talk often, Kemp, about it's really hard to be top of mind in a category where the consumer doesn't shop our product every day of her shopping life, but we do want to be present when she is thinking about remodeling. And that is the effort that we've put forth. We took our national campaign and we positioned it. We've actually been running since March, and have had some great comments and had some far-reaching comments about different places that our ads have been seen. Of course, those ads are available for the dealers to use in their local market, and we are having a very active engagement with our retailers taking this campaign downstream. But we have also, in its platform, taken it across our digital, our content, and as I said, the photography that we're using to support all that content marketing on our social channels all leads back to awesome. So all of that compounded, we've definitely increased our efforts.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed that the creative team that you've put together is a combination of your digital marketing resources and also an agency in New York that does mostly major consumer campaigns, right?
Yes. Resource Almirati, those are two companies that are joined, very powerful. Resource has been doing our digital marketing and ever since ShawFloors.com was introduced 10 years ago. And now they are our creative agency, our strategy agency, and it's working beautifully. And a lot of those stories actually came from the art directors who designed it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so just real quick, the components of the campaign, it's cable TV, it's print advertising. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, it actually has just arrived in store in POS over the last couple of weeks. Some very large and beautiful photography posters and product tags. TV, cable, videos, print, digital, as I've said. Mm-hmm. The new ShawFloors.com features the campaign where the consumer lands and shops, so it's very much a combined effort for everything that we're doing to reach the consumer.
All right, Kathy, it's good to talk to you. I applaud your efforts in stepping up the Shaw brand to the consumer. Again, been talking to Kathy Young, who is the Vice President of Marketing Services at Shaw Industries, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.